One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One of the pieces of that seems to be the recruitment of students from China and the acute competition within the higher education marketplace here in the States. Is that one of the areas of the most immediate results that you guys are already finding?
We haven't measured that yet. We've mostly been testing those concepts. It's tricky. Our different schools think about it differently. We really have some schools that have plenty of students and don't need any more international applications, and we have others that's very much part of their strategy. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but certainly, we've had success with academic folks, either from admissions offices or global offices at our schools in the first 2 years, have a lot of success in facilitating conversations. And I think applications from students in China, from very qualified students in China. We're going to take the next step with our global officers. We're going to actually host the first meeting of the global officers from all our Pac-12 institutions. They've actually never met before. We're going to host them this summer for a meeting, and they're going to talk about a lot of things, but one of the pieces of that will be, what we are doing in China and elsewhere internationally, and how that can best fit the needs strategically of our schools from an international standpoint, student recruitment and otherwise.
Are we going to hear more about some other nations in that direction? I guess I'm specifically thinking about Japan. Why, other than this humongous population in China, has China been the focal point primarily, and not just for the Pac-12, but a lot of, I guess, India to a degree as well. But are we going to see some other nations in Asia become more prominent?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question. I mean, China and India specifically, I think, are hard to deny just because of the massive growth that they're seeing. And as when the infrastructure catches up with the population, you're not going to be able to avoid those. We really are trying to think strategically and working on a broader plan that marries where the athletic opportunities are with the institutional interests of our schools. And if you look at where many of our students are from, those most robust markets are China, South Korea, India, a lot of the Pacific Rim. And then if you look more on the athletic side, if you're coming from that angle, certainly the Australia, New Zealand area, and even Philippines is a really interesting market. So right now we're in more of an opportunistic phase as we're still sort of building a model. But our goal is to build a model in China that, even though it's unique to China, we can replicate in other markets as we identify which of those we can find the right partners in and speak strategically as the most important for institutions.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.